okay? So let's get right to your reading. The first card that came out for you, Aries, is the Eight of Wands. So the Eight of Wands to me is about movement, rapid movement, so fast movement. The Eight of Wands can signify like quick decisions, or maybe even communication, maybe some travel here. So wherever this fits in your life right now is where it's going to fit, right? But I feel like, Aries, there could be some communication here. You wanting to communicate with someone, someone wanting to communicate with you, or there just could be something moving quickly here. Now, that was my thought, but when I clarified it, I got the Two of Swords. So the Two of Swords to me is blocked communication here. So something that has been blocked, maybe you blocked someone, someone blocked you, but something here is just not moving forward. So with this Eight of Wands, what it's telling me is that with the Two of Swords, it's like something's just not moving. So let's say what this is about, because, you know, month of February, Mercury retrograde, I mean, communication is so off right now. So just bear that in mind. We have the Ten of Pentacles. So to me, this has to do with maybe someone who you were committed to or are committed to. Maybe communication between you guys is just not working right now. It could be maybe a situation about finances where you're just not communicating, or something's not being communicated to you about your finances, about your long-term commitments here. So I feel like in the end, something's gonna free up, okay? We have the Hermit here. So I feel like right now, when it comes to this situation, Aries, it's like Spirit is just letting you know, like, take the time to look inward, okay? Take some time for yourself. Take some time to dig deep within yourself when it comes to this situation that you're dealing with, because something's just not moving forward here. And the reason that is, it might be something that you will find within yourself, okay? It'll be probably an answer that will be within yourself. So just, I feel like a lot of you could be going into hermit mode so that you can like find out what it is, reconnect to that part of yourself that's going to give you a lot of clarity here. And with doing that, I feel like that's when you reach that Page of Wands energy. And this is you, you know, this is the fire. This is Page of Wands. It's going in a new direction. It's freeing yourself. So I feel like, Aries, because you're digging deep, because you're going inward, this frees you, you know, this frees your spirit. The Page of Wands is about a free spirit, okay? The Page of Wands is about exploring and freedom, okay? So I feel like you're really willing to explore something else because you finally dug deep. You finally, you know, put all your ducks in a row, and now you've freed that space up for something else, something different, a new approach, whatever the case may be here. We have the Five of Pentacles. So clarifying this with the Five of Pentacles to me is basically saying, again, you freed yourself from this space where maybe you had like a mindset of maybe like insecurities, feeling left out, or maybe someone's feeling left out, from you. I don't know, however this resonates with you, maybe some type of mind of like scarcity, you know, like not having enough, things like that. I feel like all of those things that I just mentioned, whatever fits in your story, it's things that are freeing up. It's things that you're finally setting yourself free from, okay? So that's beautiful. And then we have Temperance here. So Temperance, again, to me is that card of freedom, you know, it's balance, it's things coming together, you finally finding that balance within yourself, within a situation, you know, whatever the case may be here. It's like the yin and the yang, the light and the dark, you know, everything's finally balanced. It's like, but you definitely are holding on to the sun more than you're holding on to the darkness, you know, like how you see here, he's holding on to the sun, but the moon's just kind of like hovering over him, because you know, in the end, you definitely want to choose that light. You want to choose that fire because it's what lights you. It's giving you passion, but you know that the darkness is still there, but you're not going to allow the darkness to take over because you don't want that anymore. So it's like you're choosing to be more connected to that light side, to better things, etc., etc. And just take that as it resonates. I'm just talking as I see the picture and as I'm getting the messages. So we have the Empress here clarifying this. So to me, this is definitely talking about how this has stepped you up into a new space of maybe maturity, a more nurturing space within yourself, like you taking more care of yourself, really, really being there for you. Maybe someone else is being there for you as well. And it's kind of like the Empress, you know, that nurturing energy, you know, and like telling you, hey, I'm here for you no matter what, you know, and that kind of gives you that hope, that temperance, that balance. Now, that's not going to be for everybody, but I feel like in the end, this Empress energy, because this is not about genders here, but this energy of the Empress is all about, you know, that kind of like the abundant motherhood, you know, nature, fertility, creating something new energy. So I feel like this balance definitely brings that new opportunity to create something new within a situation, with yourself, with someone else, however this resonates. Now, we have the Queen of Swords here. So for some of you, you could be dealing with an air sign. So it could be Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini. Not necessarily, okay? What I see here is that it could be you kind of taking some time for yourself and really rethinking things. Not connecting so much with the heart, but more with the mind, and really trying to balance those thoughts and balance everything within your head. Now, I feel like because she has this cup of water here tucked in, it's almost like the emotions are turned off right now. And that this is only going to resonate for some of you. Now, the reason these emotions might be turned off right now is because of a situation with the Two of Chalices where it's you and another person. So whether this is a love situation or a friendship or however this resonates with you, you're definitely like taking the time to rethink things through about the situation, being a little more logical. Now, for others of you, this could mean that you are dealing with an air sign as a significant other with the Two of Cups here. Now, with that being said, maybe this person that you're dealing with is also going through this kind of energy where they're pulling away, they're thinking things through, they're not offering that cup anymore, or for right now, because and this doesn't have to be an air sign that you're dealing with. I'm just saying like the person that you're dealing with in general, yes, could be an air sign, but also could just be in this space where they're tucking away their cup and they're just gonna focus on something else right now, focus on their mind, focus on other things. So take that as it resonates. We have the Hierophant here. So this is very interesting, Aries. I feel like the Hierophant is telling me that in the month of February, you're definitely going to look to maybe commit to something, whether that be education, a person, or something like that. I feel like you're definitely committing to something here. Now, maybe you could be committing to learning something because we do have, well, no, because yes, okay. The Initiate of Swords is like, it's basically the King of Swords. So, or the Queen, I'm sorry, the Queen of Swords. So, shit, I hate this. Sometimes I hate this deck because I get so confused with these initiates and the elementals and the novice or whatever. But, okay, let's rewind real quick. So, the Initiate of Swords is the Queen, which we just talked about here, the Queen of Swords. So, maybe you're learning something about your mind, okay? Queen of Swords, just swords in general. It's about the mind. It's about communication. Okay. It's about, how do I say this? It's about your perception, you know, the things that you deal with when it comes to your mind. So maybe committing to, what's the word? Committing to learning how to deal with the mind, committing to learning how to, function, how to better take things, how to better communicate. You know, you're working on maybe your emotions and how to not allow your emotions to get in the way of your communication and, you know, things like that. So I feel like for some of you, that's what you're dealing with. For others of you, this could just mean that you are going to commit to learning something new in general. So take that as it resonates. You could be committing again to an air sign. This could be, again, Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini that you want to commit to, or that you think about committing to, or however this resonates. Or maybe it's just a person that has those air signs traits, or maybe just someone that has air in their chart. So take that as it resonates. We have the 8 of Pentacles here. So again, it's about learning, okay? This is about educating yourself. This is about maybe working towards something that is really going to benefit you in the long run. So February is going to be very, very good for you, because it's like the catalyst for your future. It's almost like something is shifting in February for you that's really going to change the way you see things, the way you approach things in the future. So also you could be working on making better choices in your life. Okay. We do have the Lovers here. So the Lovers can mean that you're working on a relationship with someone. Could be a Gemini, because this is a Gemini card, but not necessarily. Okay. Someone with Gemini in their chart, doesn't matter. Okay. Don't even focus on what sign or what sign this person is and isn't. So with the Lovers here, though, again, it's like working on making better choices or working on a relationship. So I had to make that very clear here. Now, I'm getting 2 different messages with this last card here, the 5 of Wands, because the 5 of Wands to me can be about conflict, or it can be about like some kind of competition here. Maybe you feel like you're competing with someone in the month of February, or it could mean that you're having some conflict issues with someone, okay? Now, this could also mean, because of the clarifiers here, it could mean for you to not stop fighting for something that you believe in, for you to kind of climb up and really reach for that fire, that passion, that thing that ignites you, that thing that you love so much, because excuse me, it's almost like other people are trying, but you're the one that needs to get up here. Okay, so take this as it resonates, whether it's work, love, whatever the case may be here. But I feel like Spirit is really telling you to like really truly fight for what you believe in, for what you want in life. Okay. Now we do have the 4 of Chalices and the 3 of Chalices, clarifying this card, which to me means, because the 3 of Chalices, I can't even talk right now. The 3 of Chalices can mean, you know, that happiness, you know, it can mean community, it can mean friendships, it could mean, a love that's very pure and deep. But to me, this right now symbolizes happiness, and you fighting for your happiness here, and really truly going for what makes you happy, and not putting your cup down just yet, is what Spirit was telling me when I saw this card when it came out. It's like not fully putting your cup down just yet, because this is something that you love. This is whatever this is in the month of February that this represents for you. Spirit is telling you to not put that cup down just yet. Okay, so take that as it resonates. We're going to move on to your oracle cards. Okay, we have Forgive Yourself with the first card here. Very beautiful. Now let's see what this says for you. It says, in school, you're not always going to give the right answers. In school, sometimes you will act out. In school, sometimes you don't focus on the lesson at hand. In school, sometimes you will be cruel. Have you ever looked back at your time in school and not been able to forgive yourself for these transgressions? Sorry, I can't talk. Mercury retrograde. Thank you so much. Probably not. Okay, so if you haven't forgiven yourself for these transgressions, or not been able to, it's because you don't really look back at it. You know, it's, how do I say this? Let me read this to you again so I can kind of decipher it. Have you ever looked back at your time in school and not been able to forgive yourself for these transgressions? Probably not, because it's true. We tend to just kind of continue through life, and yes, we look back. But we sometimes don't forgive ourselves for these things. I'm sorry if I'm kind of confusing you. I'm confusing myself. But let's continue so we can kind of get the whole picture here that I'm trying to give out. And I hope that this is going to give it out for me. Well, you have chosen Earth as your classroom, and you should be just as lenient you are here to learn. It's important to forgive yourself when you make errors. Living with the guilt of past deeds blocks the energy of the future. So Aries, again, if there's something that you're dealing with that you haven't yet forgiven yourself for, this is the time to really dig deep with the Hermit card and truly forgive yourself and find a new way, okay? Each soul progresses in its own time, but when you don't allow yourself forgiveness, you are shutting off the heart and telling the universe you are not worthy to receive. If you have caused pain to another, it is imperative to apologize to them in addition to forgiving yourself. The guides can't stress enough the importance of forgiveness, either to yourself or another. Carrying the negative energy of guilt as well as the negative energy of resentment back to the spirit world causes unwanted karmic entanglements. Not clearing this energy while you are still in this physical dimension before you make your own transition to spirit is a huge source of regret for many souls. So act now. Aries, this is definitely a message from your guides telling you to truly forgive yourself for whatever it is that you have been dealing with, okay? And then we have to take responsibility for your actions, because at the end of the day, once you take responsibility for your actions, whatever the case may be, and always remember that the energies in these readings can be reversed. So if you feel like this is not you, but the other person that you could be dealing with, then take that as it resonates, okay? So this one says, your thoughts, words, and deeds create energy, and they all have consequences. It is a law of physics that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. As you look at this card, your guides want you to understand that it is necessary for you to accept ownership of that action. You might think that thoughts are not technically considered action, and they are not as powerful as words and deeds, but you would be mistaken. Thoughts may be more powerful, for they are creator of words and deeds. You are creating an atmosphere and placing it into the universe. Depending on the thought, you can create an imbalance if what you send forth is not in harmony with the natural state of love and compassion of which you are made. It is a human tendency to believe that just because you cannot see something, it must not exist. But that is a feeble, is it feeble? I don't know. Anyway. But that is a feeble of the human experience. If this card appears in your spread, examine your current relationships and see if an action that you have initiated has created an imbalance. If so, take ownership of it, apologize, and make amends. The spiritual law of cause and effect will produce a karmic debt, and it will have to be paid eventually. It's best to pay it now. Very beautiful. I feel like these two cards go very well with each other, because they are basically saying the same thing in different ways. So very nice. We have focus on the positive. At the end of the day, absolutely. Because once you forgive yourself, or once you take responsibility for whatever it is, you got to focus on the positive now, you know, and hope that everything gets better and better. We have everything is energy. Life on earth is full of circumstances that we label as good or bad. When you choose to focus your awareness on any circumstance, you are sending energy to it, and that will make it stronger. So it only makes sense to give energy to the circumstance that you perceive as positive. If this card appears in your spread, you may have to take steps to alter your thinking, which we talked about here. We talked about you altering your thinking and finding ways to make better choices and how to tweak your mind. So very beautiful how this came out. You may be giving too much energy to situations that are troublesome. Some humans are programmed by nature or nurture to dwell on the negative instead of the positive. It may take some practice to alter your reactions. Every event and every person who comes into your life has a purpose. It's human nature to categorize everything as beneficial or detrimental instead of just being a lesson. You can train yourself to look at life events or people objectively and become aware of the reason that they are on your path. What is the lesson? After you come to an understanding of why this event or person has come to you, you can decide the amount of energy you'd like to send its way, irrelevant of how you handle the situation. Learn to look at the lesson as being beneficial to your growth. If you've learned something from it, and hopefully you have, then that is focusing on the positive.